Hello, beautiful soul. I'm so glad you're here. Come on, come on. Let's go for a little walk and let's talk. How are you, friend? How is your recovery journey going? Go on, I'm listening. What are you grateful for today? And what is good today? I love having you along on my little walks. So for me today, it is April Fool's Day. It is a cloudy one. It's cool out here. It's morning. And it's rainy. We got a fresh rain overnight, so it smells wonderful. It smells like cool, damp earth. And I woke up to a lot of pranks that my daughter had made last night. She did quite a few. And what's good with me is that I made it 5 months on in my goal in my visualization goal to get visualization into my morning routine. And I have consistently done it for 5 months now. Today marks the day, and I'm so proud of myself. And I'm really proud of myself because I struggled so much with it for so long, and I'm finally doing it. And I thought today would be a good day to just reflect on the last 5 months and talk about my visualization routine and how I'm doing it and how it's been going for me and the results that I'm getting. So it's going well. I am definitely going to continue doing it. My goal is 6 months, so I have 1 more month. I don't know if I'm gonna upload every day after my 6 months. I may. I will probably still upload, I think. We'll see how it goes. But definitely I am committed for 6 months every day. And so I got another month left, and I want to keep doing it for sure after the 6 months mark. For sure, I think it has been such a blessing. I've noticed the most changes emotionally. I'm still working on my physical healing. I know that the changes happen first, on an emotional, spiritual level. And it takes a little bit of time and practice and consistency to rewire the brain. I know it's not like an overnight thing. So I understand that. But yeah, I would say most of the changes have been emotional in nature. I feel like I'm in a lot better mood. I feel like the anxiety and depression has went way down. That happened a while ago. I would say probably like pretty quickly, actually. And it's just kind of stayed like that. And it has really helped me with beliefs, because I can get kind of in this rut where I feel like it's hard for me to get out and about. And it's really helped me to envision all the possibilities for my life and keep that close to me and continually be imagining good things for myself and for my future. And it just, yeah, even in the moment, just imagining myself doing the things, all the things, living life, to the fullest. And I see that starting to take shape in my real life. For me, a lot of the reason for visualizing is just really exposure therapy, incremental training, and just practicing living life again. And that has definitely been helpful. I've noticed if I visualize the same thing for like 2 or 3 times in a row, I'll start just naturally wanting to go do that thing. It's not a struggle. I don't have to sit and fight it. In fact, if anything, I have to put the brakes on, because my brain just thinks, oh, we can go do this. And into the fullest, just like in our visualization. It just spontaneously wants to go. But my body is just, it kind of struggles to keep up. So I have to pace myself. And but on a brain level, my brain is like, yeah, we can do this, let's go. And I've seen that change, and that's been really amazing. I feel like the greatest value to me and why I would keep doing it, aside from, the incentive to practice in order to get back into living, I would say, would be just, like the daily in the moment dose. Like, that's enough for me. Just including that in my morning routine every day, so that I wake up and I set my day right from the beginning. I struggle with anxiety. I have an active imagination for catastrophic things. And changing that habit has been really valuable to me. And consciously, purposely getting up and imagining something good and putting my mind in a happy space first thing in the morning has really helped my mood throughout the day. That's been the biggest change. And I would do this for the rest of my life. I'm definitely going to keep it in my recovery tools, for sure, in my daily routine. And I feel like I can definitely say, excuse me, that on a mood level, it has been very impactful. And and that's coming from someone with derealization, depersonalization. I struggle with like dissociating from my body. One of my symptoms is I just don't feel anything. I was not able to feel dose from visuals for the longest time. So there's that. And I would say the other thing is, and this is going to kind of sound weird, and I don't think this is the purpose of visualization, but for me personally, it has been an act of self-love and self-respect, and showing up for myself and being consistent and disciplined for myself, just that act alone has been so healing. It's kind of like taking the time to go into my mental garden and nurture and cultivate and make my inner space beautiful. Like, it's been such a great gift to myself, and it doesn't just come through visualizations, but that's one thing that I can do. And just the act of self-love, just showing up and saying, you're important, and I want to take care of you, and I want to feed you good things. And I feel like getting into that habit and routine and nurturing myself, even in the most simple way, that self-care has multiplied in other areas of my life. It's making an effect overall, like helping me to take better care of my mind and my imagination, and just really just saying, hey, like, I'm going to feed into myself. I'm going to pour into my cup before I pour into anything else in the morning. And yeah. And I know it sounds weird, but I have been immersing myself in the Christian rewiring style of rewiring. That's been really amazing. And just, I don't know, like part of the reason I didn't like visualization, and no offense to anyone, but a long time ago, I did get into the New Age movement, and it was not a good experience. And it's very triggering for me. And so visualization for me was like, it put a bad taste in my mouth, and I didn't want to do it. But I don't know, it's kind of weird. I feel like it's been on my heart to come at it with a really open mind and try again, because I think just as important as it is to train our thoughts in the way we want them to go, it's that much important. It's more important, even for me, because I'm such a visual person with anxiety, to also be taking my imagination captive and training it in the way that I want it to go. And just feeling empowered again in my own body, in my own brain, taking control of the ship again, and being like, I don't have to be a victim to this stuff. This is my brain. This is my body. I'm in charge. I have authority over these things. And I can choose not to exercise that. And it's just going to go in whichever way it goes. Leave it to the wind. We're going to end up in some random place. Who knows where? Where we are, where we ended up when I was not actively steering my ship and knowing how to steer that ship. And now it's kind of like I'm in this phase of learning how to steer my own ship and take control, and not in like the controlling way that anxiety is, but just taking authority and saying there are things I can do. I have some level of influence over this, and I'm going to exercise that, and I'm going to do all that I can within the influence that I have. And maybe we can't control everything. Maybe we are victim to our circumstances to such a degree, but it's like, I'm going to do all that I can though. And so, yeah. So also, I want to talk about my morning routine. So this is how I do my morning routine, usually. I actually have a visualization coming up that I'm going to pull out of the trash bin. I'm going to try to resurrect it, because it was actually a good idea, but it went all wrong. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yeah. Yesterday was the first day since I've started my YouTube channel that, well, other than like the beginning when I was like, just started my channel and I was getting into a routine or something, I haven't missed any days uploading at all. I have been there and uploaded every day. But yesterday, man, well, for the last few days it's been a really bad week, we'll say. And I was in a bad mood. I got triggered over something. I was trying to process a big situation in my life that was really overwhelming. And I just was in a bad mood. My energy was off. And oh my gosh. So usually how my routine works, and this is just, I don't know. I like to hear how other people are doing, their brain rewiring rounds and stuff. It's good. I have done like a few programs, and I know everyone does it differently. But, so I do an hour up front in the morning. I'm going to sidetrack here. I'll come back to that idea. I do an hour. I'm going past construction, so it might be a little noisy. I do an hour every day since November 1st. And I've missed very few days. But I have to do an hour all at once. I know people spread theirs throughout the day. I feel like that is a more efficient way to do it. I actually started including the 5-minute visualizations on my channel because there was a point where I felt like I needed something throughout the day. But for me personally, it's either I do my hour right at the start of my day. Aw, there's goats and chickens. I wish I had my video on. They're so cute. Hello. Anyway, I've tried spreading it out, and it's either I do my hour first thing in the morning or it doesn't happen. I think that was a big thing that kept me so inconsistent before, was that I would try to spread it throughout the day. And that just did not work for me. After everybody's up and the world is active, my attention is so divided. And I struggle with ADHD as it is. And so, yeah, it's just like, I was really struggling to get it in. And then I'd feel guilty because I didn't get it in. And then I felt like, well, how can I expect to recover when I'm not doing the things I need to be doing consistently? And it was just not good. And actually, I heard, I think it's Mindful Gardener. He says he does his all at once for an hour. And I tried that, and that's what worked for me. Get it done first thing in the morning, and I just do it all right there. And then I'm good to go the rest of the day. I don't have to worry about getting distracted. I don't have to worry about not doing it. And I remember that because I used to go to the gym all the time. And it's like, if I don't do it first thing before I got all this other stuff on my plate, it's just not going to happen for me. And so, plus I'm a morning person, and that's like my most active time. And I think that's just my habit, and so it made it easy. So I get up usually at 5:30 and I do an hour, and that hour is filled with whatever the hell I feel like. I do my pattern interrupt usually on my walk because I take a walk right after I do my round. I usually try to go for about an hour, but sometimes it's less. It just depends. Like if I don't feel good, it could be like a half hour. But I shoot for an hour, and I do, I usually on my walk, I do like affirmations, declarations. Well, okay, let's divide this between my round and my walk because they're both kind of a round in and of themselves. But I do usually like affirmations, declarations, prayer lately. I do pattern interrupt. I was meditating in my round there for a while, but I don't know, I just kind of got out of the habit of that. I just felt like it wasn't working really well for me because I tend to be a dissociator as a coping mechanism, and so it just kind of felt like, I don't know, I just felt like it was kind of exasperating that. So I would say mostly my round is visuals. And, but I will sneak other stuff in there. And I do a lot of my own, like just personal stuff in my own little world that I'm working on, that I want to visualize myself doing, which is very personal. I don't record those ones. I don't publish those ones. That fills up a lot of my time. And how I'm doing my YouTube visuals. And so I'm circling back around to that idea I lost a while ago. Sorry about that. I am, first thing in the morning, I get up and I take 5 minutes to throw up on the page. I set a timer. I don't allow myself to go back and correct anything or fix anything or change anything, because then it will not be 5 minutes. So I just throw up on the page. I have a visualization in my mind. I have a giant list of visuals. It's so long, I'll never get to all of them. Anytime I have an idea, I put it on the list. And anyway, usually I already know what I'm going to do the next morning. So I'll take that idea. It's like, okay, here's my idea. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to feel. These are the emotions. I want to taste this. I want it to taste like this. And I just get all the details. So the visualization itself is pretty well there. And then when the timer goes off, then I take that and I throw it to one of the AIs. And I just say, I want you to make this flow well so it sounds good when read aloud. Maintain all the details I've given you, draw from those, and also put it in an orderly fashion. So it's like in an organized fashion, like idea A should come before idea B, because I'm just brainstorming at that point, you know. And so it takes it and it makes it an actual story. And then that takes another 5 minutes. And then I'm good to go. I'm ready to go. And I record my YouTube visual first. And here's the behind the scenes of my publishing process. Now you're gonna know. Maybe one of these days I'll do an outtake. But yeah, I do not let myself stop. There's a lot of times I mess up and I don't say the phrase I want to say just how I want to say it, or I'll stammer on my words, or I don't know. There's a lot of spaces in my audio that just sound terrible. And so, but I'm reading the script that AI gave me, but I'm also trying to really envision it for myself. Like I'm actually there doing it. I'm trying to incorporate the tone of the emotion and like all my little laughs and smiles and I feel this way. Like those are not in the script. I just add those in. I'm like, oh, this is how it would feel. I would feel this way. I love I just did a garden shop one. It's like, I love being at the garden shop. It makes me so happy. Sorry, it's gonna be loud. But anyway, yeah, and then I let it go and I move on to my other visuals and I do those and I come back later in the day and I edit it. I throw in some background music and I throw it on YouTube. And yeah, so that's and so the YouTube visual came about as an accountability token, like, hey, I showed up for my visuals today. I am committed to my 6 months. I'm here today. I did them today. And yeah, just accountability. And I haven't missed, so I'm circling back around. I haven't missed any days uploading, but yesterday it was so funny. This is going to be a long little podcast. This is good though, because I have been in a bit of a setback and my walks have been shorter. And I need motivation to do a longer walk because I don't feel good, and so I'm in a bit of a setback. So I have, shortened my walks, and it's going on for a little too long now. I need to start pushing myself. So now, excuse me. And so now I'm trying to think of what I was saying. I just walked past kids that I used to teach when I worked at the school. So they were all waving at me. So now I'm distracted. But anyway, okay, sorry. I had to push pause for a second to recollect my thoughts. I was like, where was I going with that? Okay, so I'm probably not going to edit this, so it's just going to come out how it comes out. Yeah, so I was doing this visualization. It was a night drive. It will come out probably tomorrow, I think. I think I'm going to push that one to the front of my publishing schedule, because if I don't, I'm going to change my mind on that one. And I'm going to end up deleting it. So we're going to put it out tomorrow. Then I can't change my mind. Well, I'll only have a day to try and change my mind. But so the idea originally was like taking a lovely autumn night drive to this scenic overlook above the city. You're with a loved one, someone really special to you, and you get up at the top of the scenic overlook and you just sit on the car hood with a cozy blanket wrapped around you, sipping pumpkin spice hot cocoa and looking at the sea of twinkling city lights and stars above. And I just thought it sounded so nice and cozy. Well, I've been in a bad mood. My energy's all off. And I threw up on the page with that one. But then I kept going back and fixing things. So then 5 minutes was not 5 minutes. And I was just not liking how it was coming out. Then I fed it to AI, and then it wasn't doing it how I wanted it to do it. Like, we usually have a pretty easy flow, 10 minutes and we're ready to go. And we got in an argument for like 45 minutes. I was like, you're not doing this how I want you to do it. It just kept taking my details and like making its own. It wasn't even like maintaining my details. I was like, I don't want this to be an AI story. I just want you to make it flow. And I want it to sound good when I read it. I don't want you to like override my details. So finally by 45 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna record what I got, even though it sounds like crap. And then my cat, so she's so funny. Our routine is after I get done with my hour, she likes to have the door open. She has social anxiety. We got her at like a year. I don't know what happened to her, but she has bad social anxiety. You got to keep the door open, and she likes to just go out on the porch. So she can run it at any point. She won't go far. But she's sitting there pawing at the door, meowing and interrupting my recording like bad. And she's in a lot of my recordings. She's my little snuggle bug in the morning. But most of the time the background, like the background noise eliminator will take her out, so you don't hear her a lot. But today she was being so loud. And by that point, I always record. I live in an apartment building, so I always record before the neighbors get up because they're loud. And by that point, everyone's up, and it's so loud. The door's open. It's loud. My cat's sitting there meowing. I'm like, and this story, I don't even like how the story is. So I just throw it in the garbage, and I was like, well, I guess we're just not going to have a visualization. We're just not going to do it. We're not even going to do our visualization round at all because it's almost over and it's time for me to go on my walk. And I was just like so pissy, and I threw it in the garbage. But that's the first time that's ever happened. I got really frustrated. But I think today I'm going to pull it out of the garbage and try to touch it up a little bit and hopefully record it. And we'll see how it comes out. That's kind of a side story, but yeah, like I guess that's to say that I have a lot of bad days on this journey. It's not all peaches and cream. I have been able to be consistent, but it is a struggle. When I started my YouTube channel, I just didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted to quit. The whole reason it came about was I was trying to find solutions to help myself to keep going, and I came up with the idea of recording it and publishing to keep myself accountable and trying creative writing because I was just getting, I couldn't seem to get any details in. I was really struggling with that. It was like the same visuals over and over again, and they were just like so, I wasn't getting the dose out of them anymore. I wasn't able to get detailed. It was just, yeah. So here's what I would say. My takeaways from, like, there was times where I was having a panic attack and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I cannot do a visual right now and I need a different tool. And yeah, on that I would just say visualization is one tool. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work on every day. And I think it's just good to have a toolbox that you can dig through, and that you have a tool for every job. You don't want to have a screwdriver to hammer in a nail. So sometimes, you don't want visualization. And I'm not here to say that it's the end all be all. I'm just trying it out. And it's been really good and I'm going to keep it. Which is saying a lot because I kind of was honestly against visualization for my own personal triggering reasons. And I would just say, like, I'm no expert. I have got over this thing and recovered before, but I'm not an expert in visualization at all. I'm not even an expert in this thing. I just know how to get myself through it. But okay, this is going to be a little longer if I go into this, but let's just do this. I might head home and record the rest inside because I can tell my body's like, okay, lady, we've compromised enough. Now it's time to go in. So, yeah, here's what I am discovering with visualization or any of the other tools that you try to get in. They trigger you. At least for me. They trigger you. They will bring up all the shit you need to work on. And it's like you have this goal, I want to visualize for whatever, my goal was 6 months. I want to be consistent. I want to get the dose out of it. I want to use this to heal or recover, whatever. You have like this great plan, okay? But then you actually start doing it, and it all can be very messy. Healing is not linear, and we are not robots, and we're not a project to fix. We are a human being, and we are, like, our whole job in all this is, I feel like for me, is to love myself, to learn to be gentle with myself, to learn patience, to learn how to slow down, to learn how to allow life to be life and be imperfect and not be trying to control everything so that I can feel safe. I think safety, helping your nervous system feel safe is part of this, but learning how to manage unsafety is how to be regulated when you don't feel safe, I think is a whole big part of this that I think oftentimes is overlooked. Like, I feel like the whole idea is not to sit and try and control life and bend it to our will, yes, as much as we can, but it's kind of like knowing what you can control and knowing what you can't. And this whole process is being in the storm and learning to be solid in that storm. Learning not to be tossed and turned in the waves, not trying to control the storm itself. They say, calm yourself and the storm will pass. Don't try to calm the storm, calm yourself. And I feel like on this journey of 5 months and, all the experience I've had, this is just, we're just talking visualization right now, but sorry, I'm like out of breath and I'm going to get some tea. But I feel like, it just brings up all your shit. It brings up all your shit you need to work on. It triggers all the stuff you need to work on. And it's going to come up as you try to change. When you try to change, you're going to get resistance. It's your brain and your body. I don't know about your body. Your brain's, I think, personally, my experience is it's going to try to resist that process. It doesn't want to. And it's going to be a process, sorry, it's going to be a little loud. It's going to be a process of gently encouraging yourself into new ways of being and new, I'm totally microwaving my water right now. I'm lazy. Yeah, like new habits and stuff, it's going to be a process, and it's going to be messy along the way. And I don't think healing is the goal. Like, it's kind of that carrot in front of our faces that we keep chasing after. And it's the teacher. It's the teacher. It's kind of got this bait, and it's like, come this way. I have something to show you. I have something to teach you. And it's the journey itself. It's all the things you learn all along the way. It's not about healing. It's about learning to love yourself. I feel like this has been the biggest lesson for me. Loving yourself when you're not that. When you haven't arrived. When you don't have it together. When you are at your deepest, darkest moment. When you have nothing to give. When your identity and all the things you invested your identity in is totally stripped away. And you can't even get out of bed, some of us. Can you love yourself there when you're not healed? I call my channel Unhealing with Sandy because that has been the most important work that has come across for me on this journey. I don't need to heal myself. I need to unheal. I need to quit healing and love myself where I am. Out of that love, that is like water and sunshine for my soul. And when the soul comes alive, and there is no obstacle too big for the soul to conquer. Hold on, I gotta put my tea in for a little longer. It can do anything. And you team up with God, and that's even more powerful. I mean, I this is me being black and white, but like for me personally, I've come to the conclusion I cannot heal without God. But that's beside the point. But like, yeah, like it's that deep acceptance and love, and that doesn't mean complacency. It doesn't mean that you're not trying to work on changing. I think that is self-love. Changing, imagining bad things, that is love. You are loving yourself. You're saying, I deserve to have a beautiful home inside. I deserve to have beautiful thoughts. I deserve to tell myself beautiful things instead of doing affirmations. I'm talking really fast, sorry. Instead of doing affirmations so you can heal and so you can create and so that you can get what you want, how about instead, this is just what I've come to, you deserve to be told good things because you are important and you're special, and you deserve to be nurtured and cared for on a deep level. You deserve to be told you're beautiful. You deserve to be told you're loved. You deserve to be nurtured. You know, and I feel like for me, that's what it all comes down to is, can you love yourself when you're not that? That's the question. And there's parts of us that can't. There are parts of us that cannot do that. Those are the darker parts. Those are the shadow parts. Those are the parts that also need love. Can you love those parts? Can you love the part of you that hates you? And again, this doesn't mean you can't take corrective action. That is part of loving yourself. You don't deserve to be told hateful things in your own mind. And that, I think, is where brain retraining comes in. You cannot have my tea. My cat. Yeah, I think that there is a very real process. I know a lot of people don't like brain retraining, but I do believe, for me personally, thought work is a very, very important part of the puzzle. It's not all of it. I think you have to find your own way to do it. Maybe let's take off the label of brain retraining or brain rewiring, and let's just say that our thought body, our emotional body, our spiritual body, our physical body, they are all parts that need to be included in this. And I don't care. I don't know. For me personally, I hear a lot of people say, you know, you shouldn't sit there and struggle with your thoughts. You shouldn't sit there and try and control them. Like, Doing like the pattern interrupts never worked for me. Okay, I get that. For me personally, if I just let my thoughts go crazy, they're gonna run us right off the edge of the cliff. Like, I have to, at some point, on some level, integrated with all these other things I'm doing, take control of my thoughts and take them captive and make them submit to me. I am not their slave. They work for me. I do not work for them. I'm the captain of this ship. And I'm going to do the work to train my thoughts in the way that I want them to go. I've trained them to be out of control and go wherever they want. Why can't I train them to go where I want? I can. It's a habit. It's a practice. It's a way of being. And it takes time to change that habit. But it can be done, and I think it's really important. I have found just letting, just the whole acceptance thing, I think that's part of what, that's a really great tool. But just accepting and letting these things, it's almost like a pest in my mind. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just like overtaking, and there has to come a point where you have to squash these things out. You can't just keep letting them overtake your home and infest everything. There has to be some level of standing up against these things. And I know that anxiety, the whole anxiety train of recovery will argue against me. But I don't know. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, I think I'm going to end this one. This is a really long one. This is just me jabbering and reflecting, and I guess throwing up on the digital page. So it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, okay, well, I'm so glad to have you along, and we will hopefully chat again soon.